I think that's when scuba diving came into my life.
Oh yeah, explain about that. Let's start.
This exact sequence.
Okay.
Passion and love became profession, and I was feeling very restricted, like very constricted, and I wasn't finding happiness in doing this. So I needed to do something else and then come back to photography. So scuba diving was in my bucket list since I was in college.
Yeah.
It was, I think, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara was the movie that changed that. 2011 it came out. I think that changed everybody. I think that's what put scuba diving on everybody's
Yeah. Then
bucket
you must
list.
have watched Hangover also.
No, Hangover I didn't watch.
Hangover does not have any scuba diving in it.
No. Like that is little bit a copy of this.
Yeah,
It's
they
Zindagi
do
Na
crazy
Milegi
stuff when they're drunk. It is different.
That's different.
Yeah.
But scuba diving was like, so I watched this in Infosys theater, and I was sitting in the third row. Okay, so third row, that means that the screen was like right above. So that experience that they showed, of them floating in that water was so mind blowing.
Yeah.
It was like, nahi, sometime in life I need to do this. I have to do this.
Yeah.
Bucket list mein chala gaya, and I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Then it was my wife who reminded me that, see, you're feeling this way. You're feeling like claustrophobic in this profession of yours. Take some time off. Because I was working continuously. I hadn't taken a break. I was doing shoots and I was trying to make a name for myself and all of that stuff. And I'd totally forgotten why I had gotten into photography in the first place.
Your wife is a wise woman. We
Yes,
need to
yes.
get her on this podcast as well. Maybe you both should be over here. Like
Totally.
such wisdom that you put away. Your wife already knows. Like she's having a job, but still she knows that you're following your passion, but you need to do something different.
Correct. She was the one, and I totally believe in the universe's energy, because the day she told me that, okay, that go for scuba diving, I think that will change your life, that will change your perspective. I called up Aquanaut. I had gotten their contact through another through some acquaintance of mine, and I called them up, and they were closing down their I think. How do you say, their enrollment for their scuba diving thing. They were going to Lakshadweep, and I was the last person. And that person on the phone, Abhishek, he did not expect me to actually go and pay for it. So they gave me the last price. They gave me a discount, and he didn't think that I would come and pay for it. But I landed 1 hour later in his office, and I paid him that amount, and he's like,
Yeah.
I did not think that you would come, but we are glad that you're here.
Yes.
And then, so that's how I met Abhishek. And then after that, I had to go through the swim test.
Yeah.
And I failed miserably in that swim test. Like, I almost drowned. And again, I have a great fear of the ocean. Like, I'm scared of drowning. I'm a Piscean, but I'm scared of drowning. So it's a very contradictory thing.
You know how to swim, right? When did you learn?
I learned, but it was on 4 feet of water.
Okay.
I still had the fear of drowning. I learned how to swim,
Okay.
but so in that in that swim test,
So you saw yourself in Hrithik Roshan in Zindagi?
yes, but yeah, a lot fatter version of him. But
That's not true. You used to be very, very
good.
good.
Yeah, but when I was doing that scuba diving thing, I was still fat. So I was drowned, and I was walking out of there thinking that I would never be able to do this. That's when I met my instructor, Neha Contractor.
Was she beautiful? Just like Katrina Kaif?
She's a very beautiful person. I mean, come on, you shouldn't compare Katrina Kaif. My instructor is a lot better.
Okay, I was not even expecting. She was a female.
Yes.
All right. So it's like pure Zindagi Na Milegi.
Totally. And
Where was
seriously,
Farhan and other Gaya Bhedol?
they coming on the trip. They're coming on the trip. So Neha, she caught hold of my shoulder. I was like completely depressed. I was like, I can't do this. I'm afraid of drowning. I can't do this. She caught hold of my shoulder and she's like, don't worry. You can do this. I will be there. And I have no idea. She gave me so much of strength that I did the whole steps, and then we had the whole scuba diving experience, and I fell in love with scuba diving. Like that whole
feel like going for it.
it's and you think so. When I saw that movie, I was like, maybe Hrithik Roshan was a little exaggerated when he came out of the water and he was crying and all of that, and then that whole silence sequence in the boat. I was like, is this possible? But I swear to you, and I'm not lying, when you're down there, it's just your breath that you can hear. There's no other sound, and all that you can hear is you breathing, you living each breath of yours, knowing that that's what's sustaining you, and you're weightless, you're floating around. It's one of the most beautiful feelings in the world. There's nothing that I can say that can make you feel that can describe that amazing feeling. You're just in a whole different space. It's like meditation. It's like you're just there in that exact moment, knowing that you're alive. Yeah. And I did. So the first 2 or 3 dives, I wasn't really good at it, and again I had that whole fear that maybe this is not for me and all that. But Neha and all the other divers who were actually experienced, they were like, don't worry, it'll suddenly click. Mm-hmm. That whole floating and the whole thing, floating on, as in balancing your buoyancy, everything will click. It's just a matter of time. And then I think it was on the 6th dive when it was like all natural to me.
Yeah, like when we people who have never done it, we think about scuba diving, we think that it's just standing and walking just inside water, but it might be something different. Like we should get into it.
It's an experience.
Did you get like some life wisdoms over there, down there?
Life wisdom maybe not, but you tend to understand that you're a very small speck in this existence. In this universe, you're this very small speck, and that your problems are very, very inconsequential. Like, we make it out to be a lot larger in our mind as we keep thinking about things, issues. I have this bad reputation among my friends as being a very pessimistic and very depressed and very sad person.
Is it?
Yes, and I have done that. I have had my episodes of negativity.
We never had that impression so far.
Thankfully, you've not seen that side of me.
Because of scuba diving, I think.
No. I've had those episodes in the last year because of coronavirus also. Okay. I've had that episode.
Yeah. By the way, you guys don't know, because I'm hearing the headphone. This moving of the headphone and this microphone, it is irritating, and I just want to apologize to the audience, but we need the third mic quicker. That's it, and we are going to continue.
Yes,
we are sorry.
Don't be angry at me that
it's not his fault. It's the fault of Torq Fire Podcast. We take the responsibility.
But really, I mean, I think everybody should at some point of time, if it's possible for them, have this experience, because it will change your life.
What about skydiving?
That's also something
that was in my mind. You just stole my question.
It's something that it's another experience that I want to do. I think it's a lot more risky than scuba diving.
It is a lot more risky. I don't think anyone has died scuba diving.
No.
Obviously, everyone has died doing some people must have died eating hamburgers. But scuba diving, I don't think people really die.
I mean, it's again like
I've heard that in places where they do skydiving, like 50 people close to that every year, they die. That is the ratio.
Yeah. So it's a lot more riskier than scuba diving. So I think I personally might just stick to scuba diving for the rest of my life.
You don't want to get LASIK surgeries because there's a small fraction.
Yes. There's a very, very small fraction of this thing. I don't know. I think scuba diving feels a lot more safer, and especially with the kind of team that I went with for both of my dives. I think it's just a very life-changing experience. I've actually come out of my scuba diving experience, actually sat on the board and cried, and that has actually happened. Okay. Literally, I think the first time I dived with sharks was that experience. Like I could see them go right by me.
Sharks go around you, they don't eat you?
Yeah, they don't. It's a huge misconception. We are not natural food for sharks. Everybody feels that way, but we actually are not food for them. You don't disturb them, they just go by you. They don't care. They
But
don't
there
need to
is
eat you.
risk, no.
Yeah, now I get the risk. Okay, I did not think about sharks.
There is no
No, there
risk.
must be risk. You
No.
never know.
So there are actually YouTube videos which show that even if you are cut, that whole idea that the blood will bring them out is not necessarily true. So sharks don't find us edible. Like we are not food for them. So diving with sharks is not a dangerous thing. You have to be careful. You have to be careful at any environment.
How
and
do we
anything.
how do we have to be careful over there? What should we not do inside?
You should not try to touch them for
Oh,
sure.
okay. No. We are not going to do that.
For sure, don't ever try to touch a
It's a
shark.
no-brainer, yeah.
Yeah. And even if they don't come, they just come to see what you are, because you're just a floating object in their world. And over a period of time, they get accustomed to you and they just swim around you. They don't care. They really don't care.
How big is it?
It's probably as big as me or bigger. Yeah. The small ones are as big as me. The big ones are almost 2 times my size.
Oh God.
It was incredible. Just like, that's why I said that whole dive, after coming out of the dive, I was sitting on the boat and I was crying my heart out. I was like, it was so overwhelming. And yeah, I caught hold of my instructor and I'm literally crying and I'm thanking her for the best experience of my life.
I feel like inside the water right now, experiencing everything, whatever you've told me.
Especially if you can see his face now, then you are going to feel everything. It's very,
Great storyteller, no?
it's very expressive.
It's
Now tell me a few things. Like when you were down there, it must be a feeling like this is a whole another world. It's
Yes.
almost like you are in different universe, right?
totally. You feel like you feel like an outsider. You feel like, I think as you dive more, you start to become one with the ocean and you start to understand it better. You start to understand yourself better, your body. Yes. But till that point of time, you're still like a viewer and just seeing things happening, seeing those beautiful creatures go by, live their life, and you're trying to understand that this whole massive world that is out there. And what you start to understand is you are still responsible. Like, when scuba diving, I've actually found plastic bottles there. It's horrible. It's horrible to see what we are doing to the environment. It is really, really sad.
Sharks are much wiser than us. Otherwise, if we were like someone else polluting, we would eat them the moment they get over here.
I swear, because I have seen that, I have seen that how, like, there are small fish that are stuck in those bottles. I've seen all of those things. So my friends in Aquanaut and all, they have actually rescued.
What's an aquanaut?
Aquanaut is a company.
Okay.
It's a company that does scuba diving.
I thought scuba
trips.
divers are also called
No.
aquanauts, just like astronauts.
No. So Aquanaut is a company that curates scuba diving experiences for everyone. They're based out of Bangalore, so they're really amazing team. I know I'm trying to talk about them, but they've really changed my life. So they're like this amazing team, amazingly sweet people. So once there was this turtle that had this net wound around them. So they were able to catch the turtle, and cut the net out. So it's an experience. It's an amazing experience. But we also tend to become more understanding of how we are polluting, how we are creating. So each bottle that I'm using, it always pinches me to know that, okay, I might be adding to this, to the pollution that's already there.
If only we could get everyone down there so
Yes.
everyone would understand.
Your life will change because you then feel that you're responsible for this. That one bottle that you don't, segregate and throw it into any old dustbin, or you throw it outside, or you go to a picnic and you just leave it as dirty as it is, might find its way down to the ocean. So you, whether consciously or unconsciously, might be part of that. That very bottle could be from you. So you tend to become a little bit more responsible. You tend to become a little bit more wiser when it comes to this.
Yeah, thanks for making us understand the beautiful aspect of the scuba diving, that how we should control pollution also.
For sure.
Right. So that was amazing listening to you, the whole experience of scuba diving. So I think, do you want to add something to it?
To scuba
More?
diving? No,
Yeah.
I think I will.
Yeah, I think we have discussed everything regarding it, and we all should try it. I think we both are gonna try it for sure, and you should definitely try it out. Right. So I was thinking that let's deviate to the modeling side little bit. So I was just thinking that suppose a girl is there and you have shot with amazing actors and you must have seen a lot of models in your career. So how will you define that? What is the way? Like, obviously there are many ways to go over there. There's no